Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Unlimited Wisdom family. I love you and appreciate you. Today's another daily wisdom. I got a great topic. So, hi, Shelly, Melody, Dustin, Coach Bob, Sandy, Scott, Brother Bill, Grandma Grady, Lisa Marie, my wife Terry, and Matthew. I'm sure Hannah and Ez are hanging around back there, Milo and Rue. And then, of course, the hostess with the mostest, Craig. Thank you very much. So today's topic is something that we've talked about before, but I want to be really more specific about it. And the title is just basically Whisper. Okay, Whisper. And, the hero's journey. And so I'll start off really quickly, and then I'll explain to you guys why I feel like this is such a great topic for me today. So if you guys haven't seen this whole concept from Joseph Campbell, it's called The Hero's Journey. And if you heard of people like Spielberg and George Lucas and a lot of these people that have made just unbelievable, unforgettable films, it's always about this person, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Holy cow, I haven't said that in forever. But it all starts out with you being in a place where you just feel like everything around you feel different. You feel like you just feel like I don't belong, or these are not my people. All right. It's just the whole concept of, man, I'm unique, I'm different, I want more things, or maybe you're a little more rebellious, you're not a rule follower. But you start out with a call to adventure. And then what ends up happening is something usually happens in your life that really allows you to make the deal. So for those of you that are not Star Wars fans, I apologize, but I know that you'll get it. But, Luke all of a sudden found himself working for his aunt and uncle, and he didn't really know what happened to his parents because he started living with them at such a young age. So he just knew that his dad was some Jedi fighter that was, taking care of the Empire or whatever, stopping the Empire from destroying everybody. And then all of a sudden, there's a threshold of guardians. Now, what this usually ends up happening is this supernatural thing. If you guys know this, well, what happens in a Matrix movie, or what's the Wick, the John Wick movies? It's just the Rambo movies. It's always something where I can't believe they broke into his house. That's bad enough. But they killed his dog. Oh my God. Now it's time to wipe everybody out. You know what I'm talking about? And so in this example, Luke Skywalker comes home and someone killed his aunt and uncle. So now it's time to go, okay, so what do I do with my life? I already felt out of sync with everyone. So maybe this is what I go out and try to find my father. I know he's like hanging out with these Jedis and stuff. Maybe I go find that out. So right in here, you always find where there's a helper. And so if you guys remember, it's funny, I don't know if you guys seen the speech with Harrison Ford, winning, great speech. But Harrison Ford is the guy that's going to take him to this planet or this place where maybe he can learn and find out how to find his deal. So that, of course, when he gets there, then of course he meets a mentor, and you'll notice that there's a number of them, whether it's Yoda or I'm trying to, some of the other names just recently, you just escaped me. But all of a sudden you get some mentors. And then through that, you always go through these challenges. And that leads you to maybe another helper or another mentor. And then all of a sudden the revelation or the abyss or death is, even in a biblical form, it talks about all of a sudden you're reborn. You're renewed your mind. You're no longer the same person. So it's not just the thought that I'm different. It's I know I'm different, and I now know that I have the ability to change things. And so that causes the transformation and then they atonement, then what ends up happening is the person usually always goes back. I thought this was cool where it says the gift of godness, where now what you do is you go back to the people that don't know that they have a gift, don't know that they have a whisper, right? And then you do your best to convince them. And this is usually really, really difficult because that's when all these people say, you're an idiot. Not anybody can do this. You're probably involved in a cult. And for those of you that haven't seen Jonathan Livingston Seagull or read the book, it's like virtually everyone goes out of their way to make sure that, just stay in your lane, stop trying to rock the boat, and he's like, no, listen, we can fly faster than everybody. And they're like, yeah, you're full of shit. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're talking about. And so one of the things that I want each and every one of you to really, really, bring into your heart. I actually talked to my wife about this before she left. And hi, Michael and Angela. Hi, Mike Dean. Hi, Deborah. I believe Mark Mary was here, maybe not. But I want to share with each and every one of you that whether or not you know this, then maybe just ask for it. But every one of you have had this little whisper or this thing that consistently shows up that you just ignore. Now, my whisper is without a doubt unlimited wisdom. That's why I wanted to share this with you guys, because as you see me move forward, all the things that I always said I was going to do, I'm going to do. I have all these neat little things that I've always thought when I first understood that I could do skits and characters and do this thing called edutainment that emotionally would help people change forever. Hi, Linda. Hi, Faith. And so it's funny because the skits are so deep in my mind and I have all these things that I can't wait to share with you. Then what I do is I get excited enough to buy the props for the skit and still don't do the skit. You see what I mean? It's like this whole thing. So one of the things I want to share about this whisper is Joseph Campbell has this other thing that he constantly says. And I'm going to ask each and every one of you to sort of dive deep on this. But Joseph Campbell is known for this statement: the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. I'll say it again. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. So there's these things that, again, if you just said, oh, I think this is a whisper, I think this is a whisper, or this keeps coming that I should do this, and maybe I should do this, and maybe I should do this. For me, I can share with what one is the whisper. And if you're not getting the whisper, then ask for the whisper. Sometimes I barely say this statement because I'm willing to be bold enough to know where I get the whisper from. So when things are not working good in my life, I just very simply say, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, can you please tell me the thing that I ignored? And it was weird because two things were in my prayer time today, and I thought they were uniquely different, but then when I researched, they're both the same thing. So there's these things when you pray for forgiveness of sins or wrongdoing, there's this also thing called inadequacies and then transgressions, right? So I've read this in the Bible and I've heard this in prayer, so I went on AI and I said, what's the differences between, And one of them basically is just straight out rebellion. And I've never ever heard this, and I'm 64 years old. But a part of not doing, instead of calling them sins, let's just call them, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Let's call them wrong things, right? But how many of you know that not being like the science of getting rich just says the best thing you could do for yourself in the world is just to be the best you? All right? But how many ever people think that this is wrong? And listen closely. that there's things that you know that you could do to better yourself and other people, and then you just don't do it. Do you really believe that maybe one day you could be held accountable for that or judged for that? So there's this thing that we always sit there and go, I could do this, or I could help that person, or I could do a live video, or I could do something that I know that would help other people. But what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to do it. Well, why aren't you going to do it? Drifting. I'm going to make up excuses. I'm going to say I'm too busy. I'm going to do all the stuff to find a way not to do the thing that I know if I did it, it would bless other people. So that would be just flat out ignoring the whisper, right? So you got these things that you're supposed to do. And I know that I've been giving Sandy a bunch of props lately just because I'm so proud of her. But one of the things that, I know when Sandy did one of her first videos is, I looked at the time it was, and I think it was like 10 seconds. And I know that Sandy went, listen, I can say something direct, do it with love, do it direct, and then tell them to have a great day and be a badass today. See, that was her thought, right? Now that she's done doing them, then the video she did today or tomorrow, I don't remember what it was, and I was like, oh my God, this video's 30 seconds. So in a blink of an eye, her videos are already 3 times longer than she anticipated them. Here's when you know that you're really in your whisper, is that time disappears. So when you're coming from your heart and you're really in the flow, time disappears. And also your thoughts of I'm saying this wrong, or my voice sounds weird, or you're looking at yourself going, maybe I should have did something with my hair before I got on here, or you're looking at the background, you're looking at the lighting. See, that's all up here. That's not here. And here's another thing that will happen for you. When you do some content, you have zero thinking of wanting to watch it again. Because you're in the moment, you're in the space. So you did it and it's done. I'm excited to see what comes up tomorrow. So each and every one of you, I'm sharing this with you today because I'm basically preaching to myself, if you catch what I'm doing right now. In fact, doing this video is basically me drifting a little bit, because what I basically wanted to share with you guys, all the stuff that I plan on doing, when instead of just doing a skit today, instead of doing some edutainment today, I basically said, well, I want to make sure any of you, when you start thinking about it, you just go, well, maybe I need to learn a little more. Maybe I should do a little more research. Maybe I should do another couple of bullet points and find some more things to say. It's like, no, none of that's gonna make sure that you get the whisper. So listen to all the things that you've always wanted to do. And believe it or not, you got to trust yourself to know how intuitive you are, So ask not only a higher power, but ask yourself, what are some things that I always felt like I should go into a little more, but then I found an excuse not to do it? And let these whispers come to you. And as they come to you, then very simply ask you, which one scares you the most? Which one really puts fear in you where you go, whoa? Because the one that you're scared to do, the one that gives you the most fear, is the one that's going to open up everything for you. You start doing that one and stop thinking about it and just trust your whisper and do it, then what's going to do is it's going to open up everything for you. And and from the time that Matt's been a gift from God to watch him grow, and Matt just straight out is a storyteller. He is flat out a storyteller. And so I know that's his whisper. Sometimes we just find everything to do other than the whisper. Does that make sense to you all? And so, I know by doing the skits that are in my head and, some of the characters you guys have all heard of. Some of you have actually seen me do the characters like Melody. I think I brought that up on Friday or whenever it was. But I wanted to share with you guys not only my excitement about this new adventure I'm going on, because every hero's journey is a new adventure, and also not only the excitement about it, but also to be willing to admit to each and every one of you that it's not only super, super, super uncomfortable for me, but believing that the results that are going to happen for it is freaking me out, right? But I know that if I do it, that it's going to open up everything. So there's a part of the drifting that in myself I sort of do the the Dino and the adversary and beat myself up and go, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? And then there's a part of me that goes, okay, when the student's ready, the teacher appears. So that's where I am right now. But I really, really wanted to come on here and share with each and every one of you to just really lean in hard, because the one thing, there was something very unique that I'll just go on a funny little tangent. And there's been 3 or 4 people that have been very, very close to me that, whatever's happening in the world, that sometimes they just allow, the stuff to get to them. They're going like, hey, do you think that Iran getting attacked, and now the whispers that they have bombs that could actually take Israel off the map, and then there was a blood moon last night, there's a lot of stuff that is making things feel uneasy, like whether it's going to be the end of the world or the second coming or whatever. And what was unique about 3 people did that to me all yesterday. And it was interesting because the reason that they were calling me is for me to assure them that everything was okay. And I'm going, wow, what a blessing that was. So one of them was Josh, and just out of nowhere just go, hey, because his dad freaks him out a little bit because Norman is a little bit of a QAnon guy. You know what I mean? So and he gets deep in it, man. He gets really, really deep in it. So the one thing that I think that I can share with you that I shared with all 3 of them is there was a funny video that I seen with Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was freaking out because you could tell that he was in like like an Escalade or something, like a car that was going to the airport, like a luxury Uber, right? And all of a sudden the car stops, and then this woman runs up next to him and knocks on his window. And it just scared the shit out of him. And then he rolled the window down. He's like, what the hell? And she said, I just wanted to say hi to you because I have an important question. And then I was chicken and didn't do it. And so I ran down the street believing that I could catch you, and I'm here. And he's going, what is the question? And she said, I know that I'm capable. I know that I can do it. I just need some way some way to get me motivated so I do it. And he goes, I know exactly what you need to hear. And she goes, really? What is it? And he says, you're going to fucking die. And I'm using his words. Her face just like drained. She's going, what? And he goes, what if you knew that you're going to die? Don't you think you should get that shit done right now? Why are you holding off on it? And that's what I shared with all three guys yesterday. I was just going, okay, things are not looking good. Well, I don't know if it's 6 months or a year or a month or 2 years or 5 years, but me personally, I just can't imagine being in front of the creator that I know that's there. And he's like, listen, I told you what you could do to help millions and millions and millions of people. Why didn't you trust me? Why didn't you trust me? Why didn't you trust me? So that's today's Unlimited Wisdom. I hope you enjoyed it. I love and appreciate you guys. And I know Craig's got a whole schedule for us, but I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much, Linda, Faith, Shelly, Mike, Deborah, Dustin, Scott, Melody, Michael, Mary, Coach Bob, Sandy, Brother Bill, so great to see you, Grandma Grady, Lisa Marie, Terry, my love, I miss you, Matt, and the hostess with the most is Craig.
Wow, bless you, Robert. Thank you. What a great message. Watch this video again because so many great nuggets in there, Robert. Bless you and thank you for sharing. As Robert mentioned, we got 7 days, a whole week. Well, every single day, something going on. Like today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we always have our daily wisdoms at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, Outwitting the Devil. This is going to be an amazing, amazing podcast or Zoomcast, however you want to call it, but you need to be here and share that with everybody. Bring them in. Tell them we're doing Outwitting the Devil, the book by Napoleon Hill, and we are featuring Professor Dana Scranton. You don't want to miss our next chapter in Outwitting the Devil. Then, of course, on Thursday, our premium package starts with breakthroughs. We get to do breakthroughs one-on-one, help you get to the next level. Saturday, Ask Us Anything. Again, a premium part of the package, and where you get to ask anyone that you see here who happens to be there a question, and we'll answer it. We'll do our best to give you the best answer to help you go on to the next level. Sunday, Master's Mind, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Great way to end the week or start the new week. Monday morning, like yesterday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. Recess! Lots of great things happen during recess. It's an open forum. We just talk. It's kind of like getting together with the morning cup of coffee and chatting. So that's our schedule. You can find out more about our events by going to the calendar and Unlimited Wisdom, and it's right there. And then join us, will you? Please. Thank you so much. A few things are saved in the chat. If you want to save the chat, click the 3 dots in the meeting chat, and they will download, and click Save Chat. It'll download to your computer as we conclude. If you're watching us right now, if you're watching us later on a replay, the links and stuff are down below this video. So that's how we do all that. And until next time, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and open up so we can all say so long and have a terrific Tuesday.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye, love. Bye, honey.
Thank you, Robert.
Jerry.
Where's
Awesome,
Ezra?
Love ya. Thank you, Robert.
Bye.